now we're back. Two of the best that are doing it right now, fresh off of two stellar showings at the Showdown. I'm not gonna get used to this freaking, I don't even know what it is. Obviously you guys see his face, John Haack's right there. Yeah, man, the myth, the legend, named the modern day GOAT. I mean, that's debatable, whatever. I don't even like the guy. And and you'll see there, I don't know if you see, I'm sure if you're watching, you're gonna see that there's a pumpkin face, scary pumpkin face. Obviously that's Andy. Everyone knows Andy.
Hello.
Dude, what is up? What's up, fellas? What's going on?
Not much. How you been?
Dude, I'm good. I'm good. Like I said, just really trying to figure out, the next move in my strength sporting life. You know what I mean? And really just enjoying watching you guys kill it more than anything, man. What's been up with you guys?
Oh, just coming off the Showdown meet. Both, as you said, had very good performances, and I'm starting prep now for the hybrid Showdown.
Andy, what do you got coming up? What do you got going on?
I'm full off season mode. I don't plan on competing until like March, April. I don't have a meet like lined up yet.
Just know that you got something coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna see how long you can make this happen, because this is dope.
No, I'm done. I just want to take a picture.
I was trying to get a picture of it.
I couldn't hold it the whole time.
But yeah, dude, I honestly just want touch base. I know I kind of hit you up, Andy. Kind of post Showdowns. Okay, I want to get with you guys. I'd actually reached out to you a little earlier in the year about having you on. One, because just one of my favorite people to talk to. You're hilarious. There's a lot of guys I respect, but there's very few I respect as much as I do you, and John.
Well, thank you.
Dude, calm down over there, relax. But yeah, dude, I was just excited to kind of get a chance to circle back with you guys and kind of pick y'all's brains, and of course see how you guys felt the meet went, how it was run, in your opinion, and of course how you felt your performances were, obviously present day in comparison to, I guess, some of your past performances, man. And honestly, just kind of, where you see, your trends heading right now. So we'll talk a little bit about the Showdown, man. But I guess, like I always do, for those people, I mean, everyone that listens to me follows you guys, so just kind of is what it is. But just for the sake of tradition, for those of the people that are living under the rocks, we'll start with you, Andy, because you're on the screen right now. Give people a little rundown of who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, so my name is Andy Huang. I've been powerlifting since 2015, 16, I believe. I'm out of Southern California in Irvine. I was actually born in Taiwan, made in Taiwan, as I like to say. And I grew up in San Diego and played sports my whole life, like football, basketball, track, and then some football in college. And then got into bodybuilding for a long time, and then made the switch to powerlifting in the, like I said, 05, 06. And that took off, and I really loved it. And I from my first 2 years, I went from nothing to number 2 in the world. The last 2-3 years been kind of, bit by the injury bug. Been having a lot of injuries, small and big, that kind of just hindered my progress. But lately everything's been clicking, and had a great meet at the Showdown, going 9 for 9, and just about 10 pounds off my all-time best total. And I think I found the right combination of programming and recovery, and how to train, and for my age and my body to get back into a place where I can set PRs and still make progress. And I'm 37. I thought for a while that I'd be on my last leg, and I was contemplating getting used to the idea of retiring. But after this prep and this meet, I definitely rethinking that, and which is great. And I'm happy to be back. And right now I'm in the off season, and I don't plan on competing until like March or April, and definitely gonna do the Showdown again next year just because I love the meet, which we'll talk about more later. And right now I coach a little bit online for myself and for Juggernaut Training Systems, and I'm also part owner of Iron Rebel, and that's what I do in my daytime. Most of the time, takes up most of my time, and other than that, that's it.
It's a lot, dude. This guy must be nice. Must be nice to be on top.
I'm also in a very infamous throuple that everybody loves to ask and talk about.
We'll talk about that. You know what? You know what? You talk about throuple. 3 underlines. Awesome. Now, moving on. John, for those people that are living under a rock that don't know who you are, give them a quick rundown of who you are, my friend.
Well, I mean, I like lifting and memes. That pretty well sums it up for
Absolutely.
me. I'm not
And RuneScape.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and RuneScape.
Oh,
Other than that, yeah. I mean, I'm not as interesting as Andy. I don't have a throuple right now.
right now.
Yeah.
But it's on the table.
Working on it.
He doesn't like to be tied down, guys. Let's be honest.
That's all it is. So John's like man a few words. We'll make them talk. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll crash through the Showdown real fast because I like to get messy. So like I'd rather just let's get the formal stuff out of the way. I mean, honestly, we'll start with you, John. How was this prep? It seemed like this was a really, really good prep going to the Showdown. And just I think it looks like between the prep, the cut, the selection, it was just like it looked like you put it together. I mean, like it's not like you don't always put it together, but it was like this one it was dope to watch this one because it looked like you put it together.
Yeah, I think like with the past like hybrid last year or this past year and Kern, both of them the kind of goal was to go for that 1,000 kilos.
Yeah.
But this one was both those preps were good preps, but it would have been like a reach to hit the 1,000 kilos, whereas this one like I had pretty close to like a perfect prep. I felt like that I went into it feeling like very confident, where I'm like, okay, as long as I don't have like an injury, which kind of did, but as long as I don't have like an injury on the meet day, I feel like 1,000 kilos is going to be like there, and
right.
It ended up working out.
Yeah, you had 1,000 kilos and some change, man. It was nice. It was nice to watch, man. It was. You know what I think, and again, I don't. I never really try to get into an athlete's head. I mean, because I don't like people really trying to get in my head, especially like when you're in comp mode. But it seemed like around, at least from watching, I mean, you always seem like you have a lot of fun at meets, but I feel like after like the second squat, it looked like you were like, hey, dude, let's have some fun. You know what I mean? And maybe that was just me, like, maybe trying to read into something, but it seemed like this time around, you looked like you were having a lot more fun at the meet than I guess in the last couple meets I've seen you in. But again, that's just me kind of, I don't know if I'm reaching.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I was almost having less fun because I messed up my quads on the third squat. So I was like, just like, I don't know, when you're like in pain, it's like hard to be like, happy. And so like,
I feel you on that.
I guess, okay, actually between like third squat and like before hitting the third bench, I was feeling like pretty down. And then like after I hit the third bench, I was like, all right, okay, like let's go. I can actually, I feel like I can actually hit this deadlift that I need to hit. And
so I totally read the body language wrong. That's why
John's forgetting our girls were cheering him up too.
That's true.
Because they our two friends, my girlfriend and Suzanne, they wore these custom tanks with both our faces on it.
I saw
yeah. And after, so they didn't get the shirts in time, so luckily a friend flew out who's coming out, brought them, and then so they didn't get to put them on until after his third squat,
right?
Which after that moment he had fun,
technically, and he went 6 for 6. So let's not leave out some of that detail, John.
Yeah.
But they did help keep things light.
Absolutely.
You know, because obviously, like, this is a meet, and John is very serious, and like in between, he'll talk to people. It's not like everyone's trying to like. There's a group of people who like always fuck around and like are always joking. We're not like that.
Yeah.
Like we'll like talk and chill, but we're not gonna like just joke the whole time. So
yeah. So you're saying I feel like that was a jab at me, and I completely
no,
take that.
No, that was
Andy,
totally
Andy.
that was that TD smash. Yeah, you.
TD's always joking around, messing around. Yeah, dude. You already know I walk around. I'm talking to everybody. I'm running for mayor in the back. Yeah, I can definitely say that I don't know, man. It was like you start picking up momentum, man, and it just like just did not stop. You know what I mean? And honestly, I can I say the same about you, Andy. Like you came in. Honest, I you know what? Just looking at your prep, and I think I guess y'all a few of y'all had gotten together. Maybe it was an Iron Rebel event or something. And it was like an 8 something plus squat, and it looked beautiful. And obviously I've seen you squat 8 a few times in my life. But I don't know that I've ever seen it it looked just easy. Not easy, but it's like, you know what? That looks like it, like it's like a glove. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
This is the Andy I remember. What was like, was that around the time like, this is gonna be a damn good meet, or was this like I'm just gonna wait and see what's there on meet day?
So I think that one I think you're talking about. I did 821. That was right before we did one of our seminars, and yeah, it at the time when I was doing it, it felt really heavy. But then I looked at the tape and I was just like, oh my god. So it like most of my squats look like that. Like when I hit it right, it's fast and I never grind. I'm not a good grinder, so all of my squats when they're successful, they're pretty smooth.
Don't let that be confused with the fact that he's very good on grinder.
Nicely done.
Nicely done. Yeah, but at that point in prep, that was like 4 weeks out. I would say 3 or 4 weeks out, and everything in prep did relatively well, except my starting like 6 or 7 weeks out, I started having really bad elbow and forearm pain, like just very like terrible, where like I can't even like pick up weights and bench. So it was just one of those things like, okay, I have like bench and like squat and deadlift are going pretty well. I'm gonna just cruise on bench and just do it whenever I can, because I can't make up much ground, like adding 2.5 kilos here and there on my bench, whatever. So, and then my deadlift, like for the last 2 years, have been off. Like I just couldn't find the technique, and I was always questioning myself. I'd fucking look at John after every set and just and then my coach too, Ryan. So it was just very frustrating, because like I know how much I've deadlifted before, I know what it felt like before, and I just couldn't get back to that spot. But then like 6-7 weeks out, it finally clicked, and so deadlift started to go back up.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point when I hit that squat, I was like, okay, I'm back. Like I'm back to be able to do what I used to squat, very confident in it. And then deadlift too. So going into the meet, I was like, okay, realistically, I can hit these numbers. I'm not going to be able to like PR just because of how I wanted to plan things. So I went in just wanting to go 9 for 9.
Right.
And that was the plan, and that's what we executed. And I think in these big money meets, I knew I wasn't going to win my weight class because of Zach Myers, and let alone the overall, or place in the overall. So I just have to worry about myself, and my goal worrying about myself is just to get back to where I used to be, and going 9 for 9, making smart attempts. And honestly, I think I might have left out like 5 or 10 kilos total on the platform that day. So I can't complain about anything that happened.
Absolutely. So obviously being in off-season mode, I'm assuming like, obviously attacking bench and stuff like that's going to be, obviously one of the things that, you're going to probably kind of try to keep in mind, throughout the off-season.
It is. It's like my biggest weakness compared to the top, like the top guys in my weight class are Zach Myers and Larry Wheels. So they have like 75, 85 pounds on my bench. So I that's definitely something I need to like make up the ground on. The other two I know will come up. Bench has always been like the slowest progressor, even though low fives isn't anything terrible, but
No, it's nothing that you got
in terms
John
of
with
where
fucking,
I'm comparing myself to,
yeah,
it's not good
absolutely. I
enough.
mean, it doesn't help having John sniffing at 6. So I mean, I would
And my
agree.
other training partner fucking sniffing at 6.
Yeah, man, it must be nice. I remember those
We also
days.
both deadlift over 400 kilos, so Andy's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah, fuck you, people.
what? Hey, get better.
Just so you know, LS, there's like this time left thing on your recording. I don't know if
Yeah.
that matters.
Oh yeah, I see that. I see
Okay.
that. If it stops, we'll
Stop. Okay.
stop and we'll be right back.
Perfect.
But yeah, I guess going to, I guess rolling back to John, a thing that, I guess I don't, actually one of my guys asked me about this. Like, so, now that, because it seemed like that for a long time, how do I even say this without like sounding like no diss to other lifters. This is no diss to any other lifters, no 181s, 198. So it just seemed like you didn't have much comp. You were your only competition. I mean, in a sense, we all are our only competition, but I mean, honestly, and I feel like Chad's already kind of been there, but I feel like he's kind of turning on here lately, which is I feel like it's definitely elevated the sport. I mean, how's that been actually having somebody like all right, I got somebody I can really go at now? Like, is that
it's definitely nice, especially like a guy that I'm friends with and like train with regularly too. So like even like our training days get so much better because like I know he's gonna come for my squat numbers, and like seeing what he hits motivates me to like try and push my squat a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Then overall, like it's I kind of have to like be competitive with his. It's fun to be like competitive with his like rep numbers, I guess, and like try and beat those. I don't know.
Dude, it's just like, well, I mean, and we're at a point where, I should say you're at a point where let's iron sharpening iron, you know what I mean? So you definitely want, some people to push you to, obviously be the best version of yourself. I mean, Andy definitely has that with Larry, and but I mean, I feel like in order for you to get to that point of really just taking yourself to that next level, you have to have, somebody that's either nipping at your heels, or you have to have somebody that you're trying to, nip at their heels, and it's gotta, that friendly competition, I think, is what makes us, the best version of ourselves, man. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that for both of you actually is going to be a kind of a dope thing to kind of see in the future. I definitely, I mean, even just, kind of watching just how you progress, just, as a lifter, just from, from the move to California. I mean, like you're a different beast. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But, and of course, having Andy around, like, Andy knows his shit, you know what I mean? And I feel like, this, I feel like you guys are not, I won't say cruising, because that's such a lame way of saying like you guys are working hard. It just doesn't seem like you're working hard. Like, I feel like you guys are definitely riding a really good wave. And again, this is me being the older man of us three. Regardless, Andy he can say how old he is, whatever. But I mean, me being older, like 5 years, I think 4 or 5 years. I can definitely say having someone, younger coming in, someone, it almost injects like, like this new life into you, you know what I mean? Because like, all right, you know what? Let's get it. Let's go. I don't know. Again, that's me from my outside looking in. I mean, but I feel like for at least, it's weird saying it, but I mean, I've been a fan, like, far longer than I've been a friend, you know what I mean? So being able to, be a fan and kind of watch and have studied you guys before, like actually getting to know you guys, man, I think that's been kind of a cool thing, just kind of seeing, like, Andy was kind of, you've never been trash. By no stretch have you ever been trash. I mean, but, you had those, you've had the 2 or 3 years where like, well, that's not the Andy I remember, you know what I mean? And then to see you like do the way you do it, the way you did it at the Showdown, in such a nice way. It wasn't a, hey, I'm going to go 6 for 9 or 5 for 9. I'm going to go 9 for 9. I'm going to make smart attempt selections, and, I'm going to, dominate. I'm going to dominate my performance. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily care about the total that's out there, but I want to make sure that I go out and bring the best version of myself. I think, that was dope for me to watch, you know what I mean? And of course, I always champion anybody that's 35 plus, you know what I mean? Because I mean, it's not as easy as people think it is, you know what I mean? And you know, and I mean, you physically, some days physically you're just there, and then other days you might be there physically, just mentally like, bro, there's just other stuff my mind's on right now, you know. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, I you know, and I think, you know, the older you get, the more, you know, the more one becomes concerned about recovery, the more one becomes concerned about, hey, you know what, I want to make sure that I can bounce back from this, you know, and I think I was, from all the guys I've, you know, that I've been able to talk to, that once they get like past that 34, they're like, you know, I started thinking, you know what, my life more than just powerlifting. That's when I knew I was getting old. Because in my head, I've never been like, oh, dude, life's more than powerlifting, you know. But then, you know, you get to a point where like, all right, well, how many world records can I win? How many championships can I stack? How much, you know, how many accolades can I have? Like, what else, you know, what else can I do? You know, so it's cool to see, you know, how you guys have taken your respective roles, you know, in this powerlifting community, man, and it really just, you know, kind of help usher into the new golden age. Because honestly, without you two, it definitely would not exist. That's for sure. There's very few, you know, it's weird to even think like a, you know, if there is a two-side, you know, type, you know, if there's a bipartisan powerlifting system, there's very few people that, you know, that both sides are like, oh shit, that's the dude right there. Hey, that's, you know what I mean? And you two are, I mean, literally you're in the name. You say John, people know who John is. Say Andy, people know who Andy is. You know, I think that's really cool. I think that's probably the coolest part about being like kind of the old head, you know, kind of like looking back like, dude, these, you know, these young cats are actually, you know, these young cats are actually doing it. I'm gonna hit you a little bit, Andy, about and I guess if we run out of time, I'll just redo it. But you know, I wanna talk to you just a little bit about, you know, how your approach has been with your recovery and your training, as you know, I guess you're that past that 35, not necessarily an old dude, but I mean would be considered more of an OG lifter now. How has that, you know, kind of been for you, like, you know, from I guess your start to like present day?
Okay, so I would definitely say the biggest thing is the volume has changed as far as like going down. When I first started powerlifting, so I had Chad Wesley Smith. Yeah, Chad Wesley Smith was my coach,
Right.
first coach, and yeah, we made huge progress. But when we started, it was just so much volume
Mm-hmm.
that I mean, I remember the first two programs, I just could never finish, or I'd have to like lower the numbers, and it was just crazy. And but I had so much success the first 3-4 years that, you know, I never questioned it. It was awesome. But I think over time, as my numbers went up and the training intensity that I train at, that I couldn't handle the volume, and that just, I think, eventually led to just you know, small injuries and some big ones. And I've always had, you know, I've always kept in mind like eating well, recovering well, all this stuff. So that's not ever been something that I took for granted. So I think that's the biggest thing that I've changed, that I've had to lower the overall volume. I don't squat like competition squat twice a week anymore. It might even be once every other week now. I've added a day where I only go to the commercial gym and do more traditional bodybuilding exercises. It's just, it's more of a pump and less load on my spine and my joints. So, and then just overall, just less reps and less sets on the big three.
Actually, it's the next one actually is going to be for you, John, kind of like along those lines, as far as obviously, you know, what I came across you, we like John Haack 181. I think that was your handle, whatever.
Yeah, that was the
Clearly
original
you're
one.
not 181 anymore.
No.
And you know, you know, I remember it was like a big deal. Like, dude, is he gonna squat 300 keys? I remember like that was like a big deal. Like, dude, John's gonna squat 300 keys. Clearly you're squatting far over 300 keys. So has your recovery and stuff, I guess, kind of changed a little bit? Obviously, since you're doing hella more weight, obviously, you know, I mean, and you're carrying more body weight, number one. Number two, you're moving, you know, far more weight than you were in the past. How have you modified, I guess, you know, kind of not necessarily just the training, but just like your recovery? I mean, have you started giving yourself a bit more time to recover, or are you still just diving head first into it? You still got the young boy blood, man. So
Yeah, I'd say like overall the volume, I don't do much volume, but like It hasn't changed too much. I'd say like my training's been pretty much the same since like IPF Worlds. Maybe like a little bit higher intensity with supplements because of that helping with recovery.
Yeah.
But what's changed is just like as I like kind of age a little bit, I have to just do a little bit more to help with that recovery. Like I used to never really do like a warm up. Now I have to like roll out and just kind of like bike for a little bit, get loose, and then maybe a little bit longer, or like me be a bit more diligent on like the warm up sets.
Yeah.
And then just like nutrition and sleep have been pretty big keys. Other than that, it's been pretty consistent for the past 5 years or so.
Yeah, must be nice, dude. I'm with Andy. I'm like, listen.
Yeah, it's so funny. I talk about this all the time. Like, don't do what John does. Like, everyone always asks how John trains. All so it just doesn't. He's coached himself, and he's known his body and what he needs to like progress, and he's just very smart about it. He just every training cycle he just starts like 5 kilos more than what he did this previous cycle. So it's kind of like that whole Eddie Cohn fucking keep it simple thing. His is like strict linear. John's is similar, but with a little bit of variation. But he just that's how John's been doing it. He's very smart and he doesn't take more than what's there, and he has a very long, big picture look on his programming. Yeah,
which is smart. I mean, it's one thing to know your body. I mean, I feel like for the most part, after you live for a while, you kind of get to know the type of body that you have and what it responds to the best. But I think what ends up catching a lot of athletes, especially strength athletes, is either you give yourself too much credit or you give yourself too much credit. It's never a thing of like, I'm not giving myself of credit. Like sometimes people just think they're better than what they are. They're not realistic in terms of, dude, I'm gonna get about 10 kilo out of this. Like, no, you're not, bro.
Yeah.
Calm down. It just doesn't work that way. I think that with the athletes like John that are able to program for themselves, that are able to stay disciplined in terms of their ideas of what they're trying to accomplish. Like, I mean, it's all about a time frame. It's all about realizing like, hey, you know what? I need to chip away at this rather than like just try to get a big chunk. You know what I mean? And if people look at and honestly, that goes for both. If people look at y'all's numbers, it's not like you guys were just gargantuans overnight. It takes time. You know what I mean? And so as that, if and it's weird because this is probably the most powerlifting I've ever had in a freaking podcast, to be honest with you. If one were ever to look, I feel weird. Who am I? If one were to actually look at y'all's numbers, it's like you guys have been chipping away at this for a while, man. It's just been years of hard work. And it's just, I don't know, it's dope. It's really cool to see, guys that, that, like I said, that you're a fan of, that you become friends with, to see them just be successful and change the game as they're doing it. It's one thing to be a lifting icon, but now you guys are, you're becoming cultural icons, dude, and I mean, I think that's been the cool thing is, to see, to watch John come into his own, and, like, I think the first couple of times I met him, I'm like, dude, that guy's a goof, bro. Like, he's hilarious. Yeah. And then, like, slowly but surely, I'm like, you know what? This is the kind of dude that I would hang out with, in real life, and or he'll post some stuff. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not necessarily one, like, I don't necessarily comment on a lot of people's stuff. I don't necessarily comment on a lot of people's stories. I hardly ever DM a person unless it's like something like, I want to tell you, hey, you did a good job or something like that, dude. But every now and then the studio drop a meme and I lose it. You know what I mean? I'm not the type, I mean, it's weird. It's hard to say it out loud, but it's just, I'm very, very black about my laughter. Like, I want people to know that I'm laughing at what you said. You know what I mean? I'm going to make a big to-do about it. You know what I mean? And so he'll post some stuff. He'll make a comment, and I go out of my way to let this fool know, like, hey, dude, that's hilarious. Or, hey, I appreciate that. Or,
I do know when I get a response from you, I'm like, all right, this meme slaps. All right, we're good.
I'm telling you, man, like, after that one that you posted, it was about the bucket hat. I lost it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess for me, it's just... I don't know, man. If it brings me to tears, if I'm laughing to tears, like, dude, this dude needs to know, like, I'm over here dying, man. I was dying laughing at that, and And I think with, you know, with Andy, I always, I don't know. With Andy, I always want to like, all right, how can a big dude be so smooth? I've never, this is one thing, and I told my boys this, like,
Oh, he's not smooth if you've seen him walk.
oh no, listen, you'll never catch, I've never, in all my years of knowing Andy, I've never, I mean, granted, it's always been like, you know, at an event or something, but you're never going to catch Andy lacking. You're never going to catch his style off point. You're never going to catch him, you know what I'm saying? His shoes are never trash. And there's a lot to be said about a man in his kicks. We all know this. You know how I am about shoes. You're never going to catch Andy's feet looking trash. This is what it is. So we, you know, when they when this whole throuple thing came, I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here. But I was like, I mean, it's Andy, man. It's Andy. That's literally all I said. That's all I said. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I'm sure people ask you about it all the time. I don't really even know how to ask. I don't even know if I want to ask. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, you know.
Let's keep the mystery going.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, you know what? It's Andy, man. You know, so you know, I mean, if you're the man with the plan, then by all means do it. You know what I mean? I can't say that I'm foreign to it. I can't say that I was good at it, but I can't say that I salute you, sir.
Let's just say like for sure, like me and Kimmy are like in a full-on committed relationship.
Absolutely.
After that, we just have really friendly, open trends.
That's cool. So, do what you do.
Yeah.
Do what you do. I can't, you know what? I'm not even gonna comment. You know what I'm saying? My mom's gonna watch this. So, but yeah, dude, I just honestly, man, I laughed so hard, man. Like, dude, ask him. You gotta ask him. You know what, man? You just DM him, see if you get a response. But that's been listen, man, I think that's been the craziest. I think that's probably the craziest thing is like, I mean, there's people that are bold enough to actually slide into the DM and like ask you. They don't even care. You know what I mean? Like they just feel like they feel entitled, like, hey man, I pressed that follow button, bro. Like I follow you. So like, so what's the deal?
I was fully expecting a lot of people asking us at the showdown.
Yeah.
But I would say like less than 5 people asked about it between me and Suzanne and Kimmy. So
like they
but
asked
I mean,
me.
you know what? Here's the thing, bro, and this is real. This is the realest. I think we're at a point now, especially within our subculture, we're kind of like, man, just mind your business. Go about your business, do your thing. You know what I mean? Like more power to you. Anywhere else, you probably got hella questions. Secondly, I also feel like we're in that day and age of like, all right, well, it's easier to ask this man because I'm not gonna front, dude. If I didn't know you, I would just keep on walking. Like, man, oh, well, you know what I mean? Like, you don't look like a dick. You know what I mean? You don't look like a person I wouldn't want to talk to. I'm like, man, it's none of my business. I don't really know dude like that.
Wait, you're not gonna ask someone you don't know and at my size a personal question like that?
Absolutely not.
But on the internet, yes,
on the internet, boy, your keyboard is your Excalibur. You know what I'm saying? So you can say whatever you want to say. You can, you know, be whomever you want to be. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, because you have time and space that separate you and that person. I don't know, like, I mean, John, the people just try to, you know, I mean, I can't even imagine the people try to actually get at you, you know, over, you know, a DM, like just insane stuff, or I mean, or do you have, you know, some pretty just respectful people like, hey, you know what, good job, dude, whatever.
A little bit of both. I usually I usually ignore the message request box for the most part, so I don't see it too much. I have the post and ghost method. I'll post my video and then I don't really answer questions unless it's something I can have like a funny response to.
John, my friend, you have no idea what kind of gold is in those requests. I am telling you right now, if you think you've laughed.
Oh, I'll go in them every once in a while.
Sometimes I'll go to that rabbit hole. I'm like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna see what they write. You know,
I would say like 90% of it is someone just like replying to a meme saying like, oh, that was funny. So it kind of like drowns out the weirdness.
Dude, there's some of the stuff that I get, dude, and I don't have a 10th of y'all's followers. Some of the stuff I get is just, man, it's gold. You know, I mean, I I personally, I don't have the guts. To
Well, I've seen Ty's other like request box. His is weird.
because Ty is weird.
That's true. Ty is a very weird human.
Weird
being.
attracts weird. You know, like I was actually talking to him earlier. You know, working on some of his programs, and I was like, "Hey, man, so your meet is? I guess he's got a meet in November. I was gonna go." He goes, "Yeah, man. So you know, what do you want to do when you come down?" I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna come, make sure your numbers are on point. You know, make sure you do a good job, and you know what? Boom, I'm out." He goes, no, dude, we got to keep like, no, we're not gonna do that. That's what we're not gonna do. I really, I love the dude, man. And then, I'm hoping the day comes where he starts getting some invites to some of these bigger meets, and
He has to compete.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I was like, Ty, I have two theories as to why you don't get an invite. Number one, like you said, you gotta compete. Because he can put up some pretty nice numbers. It's like, and two, bro, I wouldn't invite you to a meet because you're weird. He's like, what? I'll never invite you to one of our meets. Like, I don't know which guy's gonna show up.
He's gonna be taking some naked pictures in the warm-up room.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, he's one of the funniest guys, man. And so, we were gonna do another collab shirt. So it's like, yeah, man, I got some ideas for a new shirt. And he sends me, I guess that it's him in his gold thong. I'm like, I'm not putting that on a shirt, dog. I'm not. Like, this is only, first of all, I don't want to know who's gonna buy the shirt. Two, I don't know, we're gonna lose money on this shirt, dude. That's how we do a pre-order. It's like there still has to be a minimum amount for the pre-order, man. Like, what are you doing? You're killing me. But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I think, I guess it's you Midwest guys. It's just something you guys do, man. You just,
It's not much to do, so we gotta be weird.
Absolutely, man. I honestly only have a couple more questions, man, and I'm out of here, dude. Obviously we talked about the showdown. Actually, we talked about the recovery patterns and all that stuff, man. What's something, and this is something I'd rather have asked you guys to your face, like when I saw you last, but what's something that you really want to see this sport, I guess reach, I guess a height that it would reach, or what's something that you would like for this sport to really accomplish when it's all said and done? I guess that's it's as general as it comes, but it's one of those things that I kind of I don't know. Like I hear it from from us lessers that that we're not at the top of the mountain right now. We're pretty much at base level. But from you top guys, man, that that have been doing it at a high level for such a long time. What's what's something that you would like to see this powerlifting thing do accomplish even?
I would say, like, from my point of view, like, starting in the IPF, I like the way that they do, where like you have to go to like a national meet to qualify for local meet, qualify for nationals, and then like get an invite to worlds.
Yeah.
And being on the untested side now, I think that's something that the untested does very poorly, where like you can go to any local meet and you can still hit a big total, like total's a total, and but then you get an invite to like the biggest meet. And I think there needs to be like a hierarchy where you kind of work towards one big meet every year.
Yeah, like almost like a pyramid. Like, all right, you can do these low level meets. Then you have like almost that mid level meet. To kind of separate the men from the boys, and you have that the top tier guys go. Where that would be kind of cool. Like have one pinnacle meet. Like, all right, this is the meet. Like this is these are the guys. These are the women. These are the the best of the best. Rather than there be. Because right now you could argue that the Showdown obviously is a badass meet. The Kern, when it's on, it's a badass meet. The hybrid can definitely be a badass meet. So that's 3 meets right there alone that could be huge meets. That you can't necessarily you can be like, all right, well, I won the Triple Crown. I won all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Or or is there like that one meet like, all right, and it's not like people go about to IPL. It's I don't know, maybe, whether, all right, there's 4 meets, maybe on the untested side, there's 4 meets, divided the United States into 4 sections. There's 4, big regional meets, the top, whatever, 2 or 3 from each one of those get invited to the Showdown. Maybe
Yeah.
make the Showdown the meet. You know what I mean? And those 4 meets, be it the hybrid, whatever, whatever they're going to be, they can all be around, the same time, so that you can draw the best from each level. But again, for a lot of these meets, a lot of it's about not just them, not just making money for the lifters, but also them being able to make money. And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you can get John and Andy at every one of those meets, shit, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If I was hosting a meet and I could get you guys in my meet, like, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So I mean, I get that part. But I also get what you're saying as far as like, it would be nice to, it would just be like, that's just the status quo. That's what we do. Like, all right, no matter the tested side, untested side, doesn't matter. You've got to, work your way up to get to that top spot. There's got to be, you got to go through the boss to, to get to the, to that top level. That would be, that'd be kind of cool. That would be something that,
Yeah.
maybe the Iron Rebel Invitational.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? I don't even want but like 2%, Andy. Just think about it. Move that around.
I guess I just missed like the prestige of like winning IPF Worlds.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, it's cool to say you won the Showdown or the Kern, but it just doesn't carry that same weight as saying, "Oh, I was an IPF World Champion." Whatever.
I mean, you already won it. What else do you want?
Yeah, but still.
How greedy can you be, dude?
I'm very
what
greedy.
What else do you want?
Yeah, because like your opinion on IPF World Champion is like different from most of the untested people because they don't care about it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like some people just haven't had to go through it to get to it.
Exactly.
For those that had to, like, it's like I get it. I mean, but that's what, honestly, honestly, I think that's what I think what a lot of people like about just John in general, because he's literally been on both sides. You know what I'm saying? And you can't necessarily say, oh, like is he really the best? Well, bitch, he's won everything. Literally won everything. And it's I'm a real big proponent of you can't knock it till you try it. And he's literally tried it. And won it. And in all honesty, I mean, a lot of the publicity, a lot of the hype that we build around IPF Worlds and all this him versus him and her versus her, like that came from John and Brett, and really what they with that 1-2 sparring thing that they brought to IPF Worlds. And it hasn't been the same since in terms of like we haven't gone backwards in terms of really promoting much. I mean, because honestly, that was kind of the USAPL way of doing things. I mean, that's really what everyone's doing now. Is like, all right, there's got to be 2 or 3 lifters that we have to pit against one another in order to build some type of hype. It's all about the hype train now. But if obviously if it lives up to the hype, then awesome, you were a genius. But if it doesn't, then like, well, you just wasted everyone's time. But yeah, dude, I agree. I like that idea. It would be real cool, like to have like one super big meet, where it's just like this is the most prestige. Honestly, I would. I mean, I know it can be done. I would think it would be badass to have one meet completely. I don't care if it's just one straight up untested meet, one straight up tested meet. Like, all right, the best tested, the best untested, they go head to head. You know what I mean? In whatever their respective categories. And like you literally have this is the King of Kings, it's the King of Kings, whatever you know what I mean, and that's it. I would feel like that would be the most prestigious thing. Like, hey, dude, I won. I won that top spot. Like I was the best tested lifter, I was the best untested lifter, whatever, of like 2021. Like we, like that would be cool, like kind of like the King of the Mountain. But I mean, damn, that would take some work. But I do like that idea. Andy, what about you? What's something that you would like to see happen in this?
Well, adding to that, like that suggestion, I would love to see like some events where it's kind of like a UFC fight, and then there's just like cards with like weight class head-to-head people versus like a full-on meet.
Ooh.
So it would be like John versus Chad on one card, and another weight class, another weight class, another weight class. You know what I'm saying?
That would be dope.
That would be really dope. But as far as where I like to see powerlifting or how it could help, I really would like to see like some like mainstream sponsors hitting, picking it up and sponsoring these things. I think SBD could do a lot more overall. But like other big time companies, like I'm not, hopefully maybe down the road, like like Nike or some shit. But definitely I would like to see it get into mainstream more. I know the Showdown, they talked about trying to get on ESPN with their live stream and present something to them. So hopefully that's a step in the right direction. But
Absolutely.
Overall, I just would like to see like a lot more exposure for the sport.
Right.
I don't think we can ever change the way people bitch about judging, no matter how, even like if one meet was really, really good with judging, there's still going to be people complain about it.
Absolutely.
So I think that's like any sport, like watching football. I'm sure there's, people on both sides of every penalty and whatever. So I just think that's part of the sport. So I don't like to bitch too much about that. And I think also like a lot of these meets have like their live stream is like up and down. Like either it's like a pretty good one or it's really shitty. I just don't know why, like with the technology we have today, like how it's so fucking hard to like put on like a good live stream.
It's not. But I feel like a lot of it, the live stream is the last thing that they think of doing.
Yeah.
I think you can always tell, at least with the meets that I've hosted, the meets I've been a part of, and live streams that I've done, you can tell those people that have put their time in. But live stream is one of those things that you're going to get out what you put in. I'm a firm believer in that. If you prioritize your live stream, you prioritize the production more so than just like, the people that are going to come and watch, you're going to tend to get, tend to get people that are, a little bit more well-versed in terms of, their knowledge of the sport, their knowledge of the history of the sport. I've always found that the people that know the sport a little bit better tend to be the better live stream, play-by-play color commentators. But then also, a person that just loves the sport, but at the same time, they're not just monotone and just trash. And then of course, just, having stable and steady, just cameras. You don't necessarily have to have a million angles, but you have to have it has to be, a decent live stream, like, decent enough that the audio levels are decent. But a lot of that just really comes with the time and effort that's put behind it. Those that tend to spend a little bit more towards that live stream end up having better live streams. But again, a lot of times, especially with, a lot of meet directors, man, their idea is really to make sure that the athletes are taken care of first, so to make sure that your athletes are taken care of, to make sure that, they have everything they need. Like, oh shit, by the way, we need to put up a live stream for those people that can't show up. But at the same time, if you set up a live stream, then does that encourage people not to come to the meet because they can watch it? And if that's the case, and if you're going to do a live stream, because I think didn't the Kern, didn't they charge for their live stream at one point? And I'm pretty sure it was pretty butt.
Well,
yeah, I think that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. But I think, we live in a day and age where everything's live streamed and people pay a $9 subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is it? I don't know why. Also, the powerlifting community is really cheap sometimes. Like, you guys can't pay $5, $10 for a fucking live stream,
but you'll pay $500 for everything else.
Yeah. I totally understand like discouraging people from like going to the meet, but that's like anybody who's like local. But everyone else in the rest of the country or the rest of the world would like to have that live stream. That also spreads the exposure. So
absolutely. And then that kind of leans back into what John was saying about, having like that meet of all meets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know right now as a powerlifting fan, I know that I just have to wait. And eventually I'm going to be able to go on some live stream. I'm going to be able to see one of you two, if not both of you two, lift. You know what I'm saying? Whereas before I'm like, dude, if I'm going to be able to watch Andy or John liftman, I'm going to have to find out where they're going to be at. Okay, cool. I'm going to have to save my money, get this ticket to go fly to see these guys. You know what I mean? And there's some of our number that are fanatics like that. But for the most part now, it's just like, all right, I can just sit and wait for this live stream to pop up and I can just get it. But that's the thing. If it's going to be a quality live, it's got to be better than what people are putting out. That's the thing. So if if you've got 4 or 5 different camera angles, you got somebody in back, and again, it has to be one of those type of things like, all right, you know what? We're at the Kern. You guys are in the back of the Kern warming up. And I call, hey, John, let me holler at you real quick. I know you guys are warming up. I just want to, get a quick whatever from you. Like, hey, man, so how's everything going in the back? Yeah, things are good, whatever. I'm about to take this third warm-up set, yada, yada. All right, cool. Awesome. Throwing back to the front. oh, we got Andy right here, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So it would have to be, you know, which is cool. It can be done. It can be done. But I mean, if the production value is going to go up, then I mean, I get it. I would tax the piss out of people if I'm going to be doing all that. But then at the same time, like, you know, that would be one of those things we're letting the lifters know, like, hey, dude, by the way, we're going to be hitting you guys up at some point during this. So if you're not down with being, you know, pulled aside and talked to, then this probably ain't going to be the meat for you, you know, because again, if that exposure comes, leaning back to what you're saying, Andy, if it's about getting more exposure out there, you know, obviously, you know, that exposure, you know, that people are going to have to yourself, to John, is going to lead to the elevation of the sport. But that means that you're going to have to come out of beast mode for a second to, like, for the people to get to know, like, hey, this is a human being. It'd be cool to watch this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait for the next time he lifts, you know, like, hey, what's his at? Let me follow him. Hey, you know, does he have a, you know, he's on Rebel. He wears on Rebel shit. I want to wear that shit. Let me buy that. And I mean, I feel like that would be something that would definitely, you know, it's definitely doable. But I also have seen people put a lot of money into their live streams that are production and it'd be trash. I.e., when Thor was about to pull that 501, that was Bud, dude. So I'm just like, I mean, it's kind of it's a two-edged sword, you know, but I feel like it can be done. Just go on Twitch, dude. Like, just go on Twitch. I think people try to make it a lot more complicated than it has to be. Just kind of really keeping it simple and, you know, just add some decent production value to it, and, you know, just just having a good time with it. But yeah, dude, I'm gonna shut up, man, because I literally can talk to you guys all day about a bunch of nothing. There's so many good games going on, and I don't have a fantasy football team. But I know John does. He's barely paying attention as is. No, but I really do appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, my biggest thing, dude, I wanted to congratulate you guys on the performance. You know, at the Showdown, like, y'all showed up and showed out. It was great, man. And then honestly, it made me feel good. I smiled big, man, seeing how well you did, Andy. Like, I know that was something that you really wanted. And it's just it's good. It's good to see people that you root for do well, you know, and John's back at the top. So I guess all is right with the world, you know, freaking the birds are out, you know, flowers are blooming and everything. So
John's always been at the top.
Dude, John is you're on another level right now, man. And I can't even be mad anymore. I used to get pissed. I'm like, man, fuck this kid. I mean, whatever, dude.
Well, imagine training with him every day.
Huh?
Imagine training with him every day.
It wouldn't happen, bro. I would poison his food at some point. I can promise you that.
Like John like lays out his goals, and then I like when I first started lifting, I'm like, okay, well, those are okay, cool. And then like every meet, like every prep, he hits it. I mean, you know, it might not be like on at the meet, but I know it's capable, and he's hit it in training. Right. So now when he lays out the goals and he's just like, all right, I'm gonna hit this and this, and like, and he has the plan for it, I'm like, yeah, all right. We're not like, you know, like other people, we all like have goals and write it down, but it's like a fucking wish list. Whereas John is like, this is like my plan. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, okay, all right.
I mean, it's, you know, it's a good thing, man. I mean, because I think, you know, I think a lot of John's success has you know, really, you know, come to fruition because he's around guys like you. You know, I mean, it takes a team, man. You know, to you know. It definitely takes a team, like, you know, to build a star, man. And obviously John being the star that he is, man. I mean, he's a humble champion. He's a cool dude, you know. So I mean, you want to see a cool dude like do well, you know what I mean? Because he does a lot for the sport, you know, just by being himself. And, you know, the one thing I can say, you know, about both you guys is, you know, you guys are the same person. You know, you're the same person day in, day out. You're not a persona versus a person. And I think that's why so many people gravitate towards you. Certainly that's why I do. I can't stand the fake, you know. And like I said, I tell the story of me and Andy. I tell it all the time. Like, dude, that was one of the realest guys I've ever met. I was like, this guy's gonna hate us, man. I don't know, Ryan. I don't know if this guy's gonna like us. He was the nicest dude from Jump Street. And honestly, I mean, I was been kind of a fan, but I was like a super fan after that. And I think if more people just understood, like, you know what, I mean, obviously in our eyes, you guys are superstars, you know, but you're also these regular dudes that just chill.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. Like, the biggest thing that like I think it's part of our success. Obviously, we live together, but like we just put in the work every day. Like
Absolutely.
we don't take days off. Like John has a full-time job. We all have full-time real jobs. I'm not putting anyone else down who doesn't have a real job, but like
more shade, but whatever.
but like a lot of people are like, oh well, you're strong because you just do this for a living. Like, no, we don't. Like we have real jobs and we just don't take days off. We are on top of our nutrition, on top of our recovery, and we push each other in the gym. We don't like we fuck around in between sets, but when it's time, it's time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we just do that for year after year. It's just there's no like we don't eat anything special. Everyone always wants to know what we eat, and like it's none of this is like anything. There's no secret. Like, I just want people to know that like we're regular people like everyone else. John just has genetics of fucking Captain America, but we still put in the work like anybody else. Like we don't just lay on our asses and it just happens.
Absolutely. I mean, it shows, man. You guys grind and you work and you make it happen. So I mean, you both are sitting in a really good spot, man. Like this is prime Andy. I haven't seen this Andy in a minute.
I gotta tell you, like I said, I told John, I told people I'm ready. I was ready to like be like prepared for like what life is like after not competing at this level. Cause I just couldn't make progress. I kept getting injured. It's just frustrating, and like, man. And like I have nothing left to prove really, like, but now I do again. So it's good.
That's just an old man way of saying like I don't want to do this anymore because I'm tired of
yeah.
That's all that is. Dude, I've said that so many times. But again, I've literally I won a world championship, I think, when I was your age. So yeah, about that. So there's you got a lot of gas left in the tank, man. I think a lot of it's just finding that combination of avoiding injury as much as possible, getting the proper recovery in, and just listening to your body, dude. I mean, I don't know. Like it's obviously it's always cool to see what John puts up, you know what I mean? But then at some point you're like, all right, this guy's he's murdering the game. Cool. So what are the rest of the humans doing? You know what I mean? And so that's but here's the thing though, man, like if you put in the work and you put yourself at that level, like, I mean, it just is what it is, what I mean? And I mean, you can't necessarily be mad at it. You can like kind of sit back and marvel like this freaking kid is on another level. Yeah. And I mean, and I love watching it. I enjoy it, but then, then when you see like, and like, oh dude, like Andy's back. It's cool to see you back, dude. I mean, not that you like were trash before, but I'm happy for you because I know that feeling. I don't know John's feeling. Like I know how you feel. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even start powerlifting. I was older than John when I started powerlifting. You know what I mean? So like, I know how you feel. I know that feeling. So like to have that solid meat, it puts like this. It puts like it really like refills the tank almost. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And I mean, it's almost like, all right, cool. Now I got something to fight for. You know what I mean? And it almost like reinstills your pride. Like, all right, I'm ready to rock. And John's out setting fucking world records in every weight class. Like that's cool and stuff. Like for like for metahumans, but for us, you know what I mean? Like we're just trying to get a PR, dog. So much to do. Like, but John says PB. I forget. So there's that.
Yeah,
so,
I got yelled at for saying PR by all the Europeans and the UK people. So
you're not in Europe, dog. You're Captain America.
I go back and forth. I go back and forth.
That's the.
He also includes his stone number.
Yeah.
Either you're going to buy into America, or you're going to do something else, man.
I don't know.
We're PR around these parts. I've said one time and I felt so whack saying it. I felt like a poser.
Okay. The only reason, so like no American has gotten pissed at me for saying PB.
No.
But like if I say PB, the UK are like, this fucking guy.
He's one of us.
I like him.
Oh man.
It's smart. Hey.
John's all about being liked now.
He's the man of the people. He's a man of the people. All right, well,
it's the little things, all right.
I'll leave you guys alone, man. I do appreciate your time, man. I know right now you guys are let's go. Cowboys beat the Panthers. Sorry. I know you guys are rattling off a series of dates as far as what do you call them? Seminars.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all. Y'all. What's the next seminar you guys have coming up?
October 16th, we got 16th. Right? Yeah, we're in Virginia at in Ashburn, Virginia at the shop. That's where Ashton trains.
Mhm.
So we got one there, and then we have a lot of inquiries and wants for the end of the year, or for like now till the end of the year. But because of November with holidays and Christmas, we're gonna shut it down till after February because John competes in
The hybrid.
January, and then February is his birthday month. We don't fuck with that because we'll have plans just to be just to
No,
not.
it's just because Andy had his birthday month and we had to do something every single weekend.
Hey, you didn't have to come. Don't worry, bro.
You don't have to come in February.
So since it's John's birthday month, you have to do something every weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. But what do you know? What is this gym called? Hidden Gym in Texas.
No, it's hidden. It's
Where's
hidden.
that?
It's hidden.
It's hidden.
I believe it's near Dallas somewhere, but that's one of the locations, and then another one in South Carolina, and then so we have a lot up in the air. We just haven't finalized the schedules because it's so far away. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
but yeah, from November till February, we're just gonna shut it down with John prepping, and then just holidays and stuff. We're already traveling, so but yeah, we'll announce that as we finalize those things.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'll make sure that I
Well, yeah, we'll be out in Texas for sure, though. It's gonna be close to you, close-ish.
yeah, it's like 3-4 hours. No big deal. It's Texas. Everything's like hours away, so I'm not mad.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Just let me know when you guys are here. Make sure we get you guys taken care of.
Word.
Yeah, I'll make sure I get that stuff up, man. I'll make sure that I put y'all's what do you call it, your IGs and all that stuff up, dude. Again, a million congrats to you guys for the success. Y'all killed it. You really did. John reclaimed his throne. Awesome. That's great. I'm proud of you, bud. Andy, welcome back to the land of the living. You're out of purgatory now. You're back.
I'm back.
I'm looking forward to you making some moves up that some moves up that list now.
Dude, I gotta break 2,200, man. It's been so close.
Yeah, you've been close. Yeah.
I hit 2193 like in 2017. It's been 4 years.
Oh yeah, it's time now. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yep.
And then big celebration on me.
All right.
I can't believe I just said that shit. It's on
We do celebrate hard, so
We do celebrate hard. You gotta bring 2 girls at least. What? Oh, you're married, shit.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Awesome. Great.
2 friends.
Done.
2 friends.
2 girls done.
the wife and a friend.
Just
or two friends. I don't know.
Like what? I can't hear you guys. Something's wrong with it. But I appreciate you guys, man. If you need anything, bro, you know where to find me. Again, I from the bottom of my heart, man, I always appreciate what you guys bring to the table. I thank you guys for what you do for the sport. And honestly, I just think you guys are just being just dope people. Because obviously, I mean, I know it's a Sunday, dude. This is everybody's chill day, but you guys took this podcast with me for a little bit, man. Also, you guys have a podcast, yeah?
Yeah. It's 2 bros, 1 shaker cup. Very PG.
I somehow I feel like it's not, but it just is what it is. If you're a G, you think you got the stomach for it. 2 girls, 1 cup. Look it up. All right, I'm out of here. You guys, y'all be real, be good. Andy, John, the champions, fresh off of awesome meet. Thank you guys for being on this. Where can people find you?
IG at Bilbo_Swaggins 181.
Are you ever gonna change that to 198?
So I have 198. Like I have another account that's 198.
You don't have to have another account. You just change it.
Yeah. But I wanted to claim that name.
Oh.
And then I went to change it, but there's a 2-week period where if I drop it, I have to drop it on the other account, and it won't be available for 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'll forget that. And so I was just I'll keep the 181. I'm fine with it. I don't care.
Okay.
Maybe we'll go back to 181 one day. Who knows?
No.
That's like
Probably.
back to
Yeah.
191.
And I'm that _huge Asian _ guy.
So you're never gonna change yours?
No, unless I become a not as huge. I'll just be like that kind of big Asian guy.
Big-ish.
Yeah, I think if I'm above 260, I'm huge. Still, so I don't listen. I don't know how I'm gonna get below like 250, like 260. Like
It's just not. It's just.
I'd
not-
have to like starve myself. I don't know. I can just like eat 3 meals and still maintain my weight. It's just my body likes to be this big, you know.
It must be nice. My body likes to just eat itself right now. I got to eat right now. All right, man. Well, like I said, I'll make sure I throw y'all socials up. Thank you guys again. If you need anything, you know where I'm at. This has been Corner of the Circle. Andy, John, appreciate you. Later,
Have a
guys.
good one.